My name is Aida Muluneh. I'm a photographer and a filmmaker. I'm based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I traveled a lot when I was young, but I left Ethiopia at the age of 5 and spent most of my life between Canada, Yemen, and also Europe. When I was in high school in Calgary, Alberta, that's how I got into photography. I chose photography because I found that it was a powerful tool, and it's something that you can't deny its impact anywhere in the world. You know, you don't have to be literate in order to understand an image. So when I was in high school, and even growing up in Canada, a lot of the images that we saw were, you know, the images of the Ethiopian famine and suffering and so forth. And I realized that, you know, with one image, it has such an impact that anytime I met people, you know, growing up, when I used to tell them I'm from Ethiopia, right away they would associate the famine with, you know, this one image that they saw. So I decided that, you know, I needed to show sort of a balanced perspective of what else exists in Ethiopia. And then eventually I went to Ethiopia and I documented, you know, my country. The book, Ethiopia Pass Forward, it's a collection of images of Ethiopia. Not just the city, but also, you know, some of the rural parts and some of the cities in, you know, the different regions. And it's also a collection that's more of an intimate look into Ethiopia, you know, from my own personal accounts. And, you know, I'm going back to Ethiopia after being gone for 30 years, and sort of how I interact with my own people, with the culture, and some of the things that I found to be really interesting, you know, in the various places. As you know, Ethiopia is photographed. You know, there's a lot of books, publications. You know, the Ethiopian Airlines has calendars and what have you. But I found that a lot of the times it was more of traditional Ethiopia or, you know, anthropological Ethiopia. So the stuff that I was interested in was, you know, just contemporary Ethiopia or just a different angle to the stuff that's already been shot many times, and to try to attach sort of a personal feel to it and a more intimate look into the daily lives of the people that I encountered along the way. You know, there are images that I have a story behind each and every one of them. For example, one of my favorite ones is this old woman with, you know, a wrinkly face, you know, a black and white portrait. And this woman, I was in Desse in Wallo, and we were just, you know, going around the neighborhoods taking pictures, and she agreed for me to come into our house to take pictures of her. And you can sort of also see, you know, the strength that she has, and the stories, I'm sure, you know, many stories, like even the creases on her face to me tells a story about what this woman has experienced. And also, you know, there are other things, there are other images that I like. And along the way, you know, there were images that I took. You know, I took pictures of my relatives. I took pictures of different people in town. And also, you know, what the life looks like in the rural regions. Desktop for Africa, which we also call DFA, is an organization that I formed, and the intention of this organization is to teach photography to, you know, Ethiopian photographers, specifically students that came from the Addis Ababa School of Fine Arts, you know, the ones that are still in there or the ones that have graduated.
በግል የሚያስተምሩ ፎቶግራፍ ትምህርት ቤቶች የሚያስተምሩት ልክ የሰርግ ፎቶ ወይ ሰርግ እንዴት እንደምትቀርጪ ሰርግ እንዴት ፎቶ እንደምታነሺ እንዴት ሰዎችን ፖዝ ማድረግ እንዳለብሽ ምናምን ነው። ልክ ዴፌ ውስጥ ግን የምትማሪው ፎቶ ጆርናሊዝም ልክ ሞመንት እንዴት እንቅስቃሴዎች እንዴት እንደምታነሺ እንዴት ክሬት እንደምታደርጊ ነገሮችን ነው የምትማሪው።
ዛሬ ሰው ሁሉ ኪሱ ውስጥ ካሜራ አለ፣ ሞባይል ውስጥ አለ፣ ማንም ያነሳል። ማንም ሁሉ ተለመደ ማለት ነው። አሁን የሚነሳ ፎቶግራፉ ጥሩ መጥፎ ሳይሆን ቻንስ አለ አንድ ጥሩ ፎቶግራፍ ለመንሳት። ደግሞ ስሎሊ ትንሽ እድል ይጠይቃል። አንዳንድ ሬር የሆነ ፒክቸሩ በድል ነው የሚገኘው። ግን ሲክሬቱ ሜካኒካል አይደለም። አንድ ቦታ ስታይ አይን ነው የሚያየው ፎቶግራፍ፣ አይን ነው ኮምፖዝ የሚያደርገው። ይሄ ደግሞ አይን መለየት ካልቻለ ዋጋ የለውም። you have to be right place, right time with right environment. እና ይሄ ነው ፎቶግራፊ ላይ ደግሞ you have to love and care. Otherwise ለገንዘብ ብቻ ይህን ውሸት ጓደረኩ ብለው አይሰራም።
And the main purpose of this program is, to give an opportunity for, a local community to document their own realities. I could go and take pictures in Ethiopia, but my perspective is obviously going to be different since I have all these outside influences, as opposed to somebody who grew up there and was raised there. So the thing that I'm interested in is that, what are these differences and how do we showcase these differences? And the only way is to provide training, and then through the training, then you see a collection of images that come out of that. And I hope that, in a couple of years that there will be, a new batch of photographers that are able to compete, to have work with Ethiopian Airlines or to be able to work for Associated Press or Reuters or anything like that.